Hello everyone, welcome to our Let's Play series of Disco Elysium. This is Colonel RPG as usual, and I'm very happy that you're chose to join me today, having a very complicated conversation with Klaj. Klaj is her name, at least according to Google Translator. And Google Translator tells me her name is Dutch. So I was right when I said Dutch from where she was from. So, yay me and my very vague knowledge of European languages. Anyway, yeah, I was looking at this particular question over here after all of our conversation with her regarding her possibly not, according to her latest recount, not having been raped. I'm going to ask this, which is interesting because, of course, it is sort of a question on the predicated on the supposition that she was indeed raped by the dead man down there. It must be hard for you, I'm going to point to the yard, seeing him there all the time. Oh yes, she says bitterly. I have multiple viewpoints. From the roof, out of the bathroom window, in my dreams. You called us the RCM, says Kim. Yes. Logic says jackpot. Does it? Logic, you're very kind to say stuff like that. Wait. She was the one that called for the hanging? Reporting the hanging, that was you? I made it, she nods. And I would appreciate it if you didn't tell everyone in Martinez they call it snitching. Reporting crimes is confidential in Revachol, miss, says Kim. Well, if it's snitching, then why do it? Because I couldn't handle it anymore. She takes a drag, her voice thick with disgust. Or just the smoke, because there's that thing as well. When you talk a little bit like this, because you have your throat full of smoke. None of these people called. He just kept hanging there. And then they started stripping him. Tearing his armor off, demeaning him, throwing rocks at him, says our empathy. Yeah. The voice was disguised, says Kim. He asks, clearly wishing to distract her from the images. Did you... I didn't exactly disguise it, she says. I just muffled the microphone and nicked the landline a little. Nicked it? How? With nail clippers, and I diverted some radio fuzz into it, into the cold wire. Did she mod? Did she mod the audio signal? I'm not sure how audio... Actually, I'm not sure how the telephone works. I realize it's an electrical signal, a very low voltages, but I don't think it is the same type of signal as, for example, your headphone jack, for example, which is also at very low voltages, and also electrical. She's a mod master. That's what she is. So she's Gartre's mystery phone cutter. Oh, that. Yeah. Of course, because she cut the cold wire. There's two wires for any sort of, circuit. It's called a circuit because there's the return as well as the mains. That's not how it's called in English, but whatever. The point is, she cuts one of them, she modifies it, and so she modifies it and she gets to change the. She definitely disguised it, because whatever you do to it, it's always gonna sound different. It's like the sound of a guitar amplifier, for example. It's the same principle, or it can be the same principle depending on the machine that you use. You can definitely use a radio. Whatever the radio has, it has an amplifier. You can definitely use either the valve or the transistor to change the sound. And in the process, you broke the landline downstairs. Did I? She looks into her coffee. Fuck, I didn't mean to. I had no idea what I was doing. Jigsaw falling into puzzle, says Logic. This is satisfying. Good catch. I appreciate the symmetry. I'm not sure what you mean, Logic. Symmetry? Our interfacing says, still, that's pretty clever tampering. Simple and clever, crossing the lines like that. Yes, that's what I was saying. It is pretty nifty. It seems like you had some idea. That was nifty. Thanks, she manages a smile. Why go through all the trouble? I ask, and she says, I don't know, sir. It was stupid. I was drunk, too. I was probably afraid the Union was listening in. Locals say they have ears in the wires. Thank you for making the call, miss, says Kim. It was the right thing to do. I didn't want to, sir. And he's still hanging there. She looks away. He's not. But this is more telling that I should have done this in the first day. He's not. He's not hanging there. He's on the floor. Although maybe this, instead of checking on whether it's the corpse is hanging or not, it's checking on whether I've checked on it not hanged. Because maybe if we went there, well, it's a good thing that he's still hanging there, because that maybe we are going to be able to come back and get more dialogue out of her. She looks away. We will move the body to the morgue today, miss. Don't worry, says Kim. We will indeed. That is a good. That is true. What can you tell me about him? Name, eyes, age. I'm sorry, I can't do it. She puffs on a cigarette. Not right now. Maybe later. I keep seeing him like he is now. I can't talk about his, I don't know, hair. Another puff, more nervous. I know it's difficult, miss, says Kim. We can return to it later. She meant she sees him in her dreams. Yeah, we know what's going on. And I was saying last episode that she doesn't seem very affected by the loss of her lover, as I put it. So emotionally, I put it like that. But I think she is. I think she is now. That these are the lines that are supposed to transmit the fact that she is grieving. I've also seen him in a dream. I'm gonna say it, and I shouldn't. You have? Not like I do, I imagine. She runs out of cigarette. Time to light a new one. I see him as me. She fishes a cigarette out of her pack and lights it, and then looks at you with her lungs full of smoke. I can see the similarity, yes. She breathes out through her nostrils. The air smells of menthol. Funny, the lieutenant says softly. Funny how? She asks. Nothing. He nods towards the yard. I also saw him. We had a long inspection and that sort of thing. Sticks with you. Let's move on. So I'm not going to ask that. Are you sure you weren't raped? I'm going to ask these two. Titus asked you to spice things up for us. Pretty much. She cradles her coffee cup in both hands. Warming them. Warming the hands. Right. Yes, that is how I do. Although usually, I like my coffee so hot that I burn my hands. And by the time I don't burn my hands, the coffee is not that hot. And when I say that so hot, it's not really. I don't like hot food. Oh, hot food? Hot food. I don't like hot food. So it's not super hot. But anyway, I'm very finicky about my temperatures. What did they hang him for, if not rape? It had something to do with the strike, she says. My throat is making noises. One has been roiling since I got here. Rotten timing, she thinks. She thinks? She says, all right. Oh no, she thinks for a little bit, and then says, but you probably know all about it. And his role in this strike was what? Asks Kim. And Clage says, I think it was in a security detail. He was ex-military, worked for Wild Pines. Yeah, this all checks out. And against the Union. We didn't discuss work much, if you know what I mean. But I understood it was dangerous. And they lynched him for it? Asks Kim. And she nods. Well, thank you for telling us all this, miss. She breathes a silvery sigh of relief and weariness. The air on the roof feels humid. On account of all the snow around. We should head back downstairs, officer, asks Kim. The lieutenant looks at you. We have things to discuss there. Yeah, let's go. Can we discuss... Well, let's not discuss them up here. There's another door. I probably should have checked the other door. Where's... Did I check the other door? No, I didn't. It might be... Well, for all I know, it might be the passage to the main hall. There's like a place. I know, Kim. This is a small, heavy door. There's no lock in sight. And my physical instrument is bad. Where does this lead to? I don't know, says Kim, and he makes a note in his notebook. It's not the first closed door we've found in this building. There's also your mysterious blue kitchen door. Yeah. Do you think it's important? I don't know, he says. The further we get, the more this building seems to be tied to the case. The vigilantes, the cadaver, and... He nods towards the young woman. A number of people connected to the case are in or around this building. This door is part of it. It's not unimportant. It's barred, the door is. From the inside, you can hear the bar rattle in the brackets. So, I need to roll a 15 to kick the door in. I don't think I can get my physical instrument even up to 4, which would be the minimum, I think, to make it not be 3% chance because of the double 6s.
Looks like we have more to discuss with those so-called Hardy boys. Half their reasoning just went out the window.
Yeah. You think this will make them cooperate? Nothing will make them respect the RCM, but it will disrupt the game they prepared for us. We just stripped off one layer of whatever it is. Her decision to not corroborate their story was definitely not part of the plan. Why did she tell us all that, though? What else could she have done? Lie? She saw there was no way to lie and get away with it. I don't think you're a gullible person, Kim. So I'm gonna trust your instinct here. I'm not sure she had to lie, though. I wouldn't have known. If not for you, then me. Yes, very much so. It was a smart move from her. I don't think anything is off about her. I don't think she was lying. After. She seems candid. You think so? He asks. A shadow runs across his face. Being candid is the best way to lie. The appearance of candor will, with some facts thrown in, draws attention away from whatever one chooses to admit. She may be trying to control the pace of the investigation. Anyway, we should move. I suspect our inquiries will bring us back here soon enough. Dad is very curious. Kim is so good at this. Kim, you need to get my window fixed. My window is broken. I'm gonna sleep again. I guess if I have a sleeping bag, it's not gonna be a problem. Let's get out of here. One of these days, you're gonna have to let me check your room, see if it's better. Maybe I can sleep in your room or just switch places or whatever. Also, don't have a bed. Need to fix that. Anyway, I do need to go back there, but I'm not gonna bother with that right now because I definitely want to go and check on the body. And I will talk to the Hardy boys, obviously. But because I did such a bad job of coming over here and not checking on the body, basically mostly talking to Kuno, didn't he... What did Kuno... Oh, I just forgot, right? Did Kuno tell me anything that would make me want to go talk to the Hardy boys? The corpse lies on the ground among the remains of an absolutely demolished pine wood branch. It's gently laid on the side. Well, it's down. I'm gonna celebrate in a more reserved manner. I'm not really sure more than what. Than wiping a tear from my eye? That's not celebration. I mean, celebration can mean many things. But normally you think, like, yay! But you can also celebrate the death of somebody and not be, yay! You can celebrate the death of somebody and honoring them. That's still celebration. And I think that's what it means there, but it's a weird word. 70 experience. I like that a lot. Kim says, Mr. Measurehead has done a good job. And he nods approvingly. Nothing is too broken or compromised. The victim is ready for a field autopsy. I'll emphasize the autopsy, but I should ask a field autopsy? And emphasize the field? Yes, he covers his nose and lists. 1 investigation of the scene. 1 investigation of the scene. 2 initial examination of the victim. 3 field autopsy. 4 transportation of the body to the morgue. We're on number 3. The fuck are they on about? Cop's gotta cut his shit up. Do we know a doctor, actually? I don't think I know a doctor. I mean, Kim is probably at ease with the investigation, unless he's giving me hints. The way he's talking about it, he's like, no, not for the autopsy. Just let me do this thing. Because that didn't sound like he was asking me to do it. So, and I don't know a doctor that I can think of. We know a lawyer. That's a sort of doctor. Not the right kind of doctor. Shouldn't it be medic? No, medic is different. The doctor is what's used in English more often than medic. Although medic also works, but it's just very weird to call somebody a medic. It's more in the military than anything else. And it's just anyway. It's traditions, the way the words work. Don't we have someone else to cut his shit open? No, got it. The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath. I can try to remove the dead man's boots. I think he's not doing anything. Kim isn't. Okay, first, what exactly is a field autopsy? Come on, officer. He pulls on a pair of latex gloves. Fortunately, they did not sound like latex gloves, otherwise my teeth would be falling out of my face. You know what a field autopsy is, he says. You've done 100 of them. Right. Well, I do have the gloves of the doctor, so clap my gloved hands. Wait. I do have a glove then. Well, that's a good point. That's good. Let's... Oh, I love it. Because if I didn't have gloves, then I wouldn't be able to do that. Let's get in there. There truly is a time for everything, says Kim. Even for yellow gardening gloves, he nods approvingly. However, they are lacking hygienically. They're hygienically lacking. Suppose better. I suggest you get in there in limited capacity. I don't know. What do you mean? I mean when I need you to. Until then, I should handle physical contact, and you should take notes. Oh, we'll just fill this in, right? And I'm going to show him my red field autopsy form in your ledger. Aha, I got the numbers. That's right, he nods. You knew it, because you inspected your ledger. Thank you, empathy. You're very kind. I like her. The lieutenant is relieved you know the protocol. Oh my god, we did all the right things. Yeah, we got this, says Logic. We're smart. I suppose we are. Challengingly smart. Whoa, that's... Oh, also we leveled up tremendously recently. Challengingly smart is a great way to describe literally anything, even inanimate objects, because smart can just mean, of the result of being smart. That's like a smart bed. It's made smartly, and so it's a smart... It works like that in English. The point is... What was the word? I liked it. Ah, dang it, it was me! It was me who came up with the word, and I liked it, and now I forgot about it. It doesn't matter. Maybe I remember it and I put it in the title of the episode. What I want to look at is I want to see, indeed, how smart we are with our... Oh, no, challenging smart. That's challengingly smart is the best. Logic. So it's on the intellect, and our logic is not too shabby. Not too shabby. I don't know. Maybe I should go up on interfacing. No, wait. I don't know where I want to spend my points. Let's find out. Let's let the game do the thing, because fortunately we can wait, and I love hoarding skill points in every game forever. Okay, I'm gonna open my ledger at the field autopsy form. The dead man stares in silence as you crack the ledger open. The bright red paper is covered in boxes and lists, describing the condition of his skin and organs in 3 parts. Above those, an 11 field info form needs filling out first. It begins with 1 assistant. Let's just jump ahead to part 3 of this. Yeah, I'm not, we can fill that up later. That's just normal way to do things. And if you're really not really caring, you don't fill up anything. You just take photos and try to remember it when you go to bed later on to fill the paperwork when you're at home. So we got the summary. Yeah, let's jump ahead to the 3-part summary. No, let's fill the info out first. Okay, 1 assistant. Thank you. Well, there's Harry Dubois, and there's the initials. Yeah, that's me, Harry Dubois. I guess this wouldn't be available if I didn't know my name, so I'm thinking about why there would be 2 options, and I think the only reason is because this is the normal option, and this, yeah. And maybe I wouldn't even know the HDB if I hadn't, like, it is possible that I don't, that I don't know anything, I suppose. The corpse is indifferent to your scribblings. It just lies there. The next box says, number 2, coroner's case number, KK57-0803.0815. That sounds like date and number. And that would be Kimi Kitsuragi. He pronounces it, he doesn't pronounce it with a Japanese accent. I suppose that's a Japanese name. So, he's not. The voice actor isn't Japanese either, so Japanese is an interesting accent to have. And I'm not saying that mine is the accurate one, but at least a little bit better. Kim Kitsuragi, 57 equals... Oh, it says a thing. Right, precinct 57, I should have known. Followed by his date. His date? I'm his date. No. What? Followed by his date? The date of today, maybe? And time of arrival on the scene. Oh, right. By his date of arrival as well as time of arrival. Yeah, because it breaks the... It's properly written. It breaks it with a parentheses and it throws me off. He's indexed the case after himself, not you. Yeah. That sounds about right. Shouldn't we file the coroner's case under me? Technically, I arrived at the scene before you. Yeah, technically, I'm a suspect at this point. Let's write it down. Next, name. Not available. Next, date of birth. That's what NA means. It's not available. Although it can mean other things, but normally it's just not available. Age? The man corrects his glasses. Kim does. Roughly 50. Okay, I'm gonna write the roughly number. I don't know how to make that in the keyboard. I know how to make the plus minus. No, I don't know how to make the plus minus. I forgot about it. I was going to try to say it. There's a very neat trick if you have a computer to make custom characters, and you need to look up like the numbers online. But if you try, for example, Alt 7, and you need to press the left Alt key on your keyboard, and the 7 needs to be on your numpad. So if you hold Alt first and then press 7 and then lift up both keys and just, like Alt, it's like Control F or Control C or Control T or whatever. It's just like Alt 7. But it needs to be left Alt and the numpad keys. You will create, I think for the Alt 7 is a bullet. I'm pretty sure it is. A bullet is a type of symbol that's, we don't see them in the game actually. It just looks like a dot. But it's a middle. It's good. It's a good symbol to have because it's a good separator. I like using it in a lot of stuff, and in fact, for listings, it's what I use. And then, for example, a really handy one that sometimes can get you into nice formatting stuff is the space. But it's not a normal space. It's an Alt 255. You just do Alt, press 2, lift off the 2, and then press 5, lift off the 5. 5 again, lift off the 5 and lift off the Alt. And when you do lift off the Alt, you get space. But that space is special and is not often detected in many websites actually do it because PHP has gotten far. But it used to be that you'd be able to do really cool things on websites because they would just take it as a character instead of trimming it as they do with spaces many times. So you could just misalign letters and whatever. Just imagine if you're writing your name, you're called the Hanged Man, and then you put a space before the website normally would trim that and just align it to the left. But if you put a 255, it wouldn't, and that's fantastic. And it is not the same character as a space, even though it is a space. It's just, yeah, and there's many things. I think there's like 3,000 different characters. You can literally write Alt 1035, for example, and it's probably like an arrow or like a weird, or it could be this, I don't know. But anyway, why do I go on these tangents? Yeah. The corpse looks ageless, like meat on a hook. Rotten meat on a very bad hook. Race. That's interesting. Is it normal? Well, I guess it on this setting it would be normal. And certainly for the subtext of the game, it makes sense that race would be a thing. Mondial is the race. For the so not Seminese. Seminese sounds like a nationality, but it doesn't. Of course, race doesn't. There are many different names for races. But it is interesting because, like today, in modern day, 2020, a form like this with race written down like this it wouldn't be appropriate, and not inappropriate as in, oh, you shouldn't say that, it's so impolite. No, it's not about impoliteness at all. Yeah, well, although it might be as well, but it's more specifically in regards to stratification of society according to race, which is usually a super worrying thing. And while it's historically a common sight, it really just serves to perpetuate racial disparities, because it really has no bearing on. First off, it's impossible for us to tell his race, because race, well, it's not necessarily impossible, but like, for example, I don't know. I'm trying to it's impossible because mixed race is a thing, and people of mixed race, and while racism in regards to people of mixed race is a whole other subject, very complicated, and I certainly wouldn't know, wouldn't be able to talk about it very much. But it does bear mentioning, like, for example, I don't know, an Asian American. What race is that? What race is that person of? If they identify as Asian, that's probably because they grew up in a very Asian family, maybe. I'm just saying, or they're just more attuned to that culture from their own upbringing, and they're Asian. But many Asian Americans, in my experience anyway, identify specifically as Asian Americans. But would they be, because it's complicated. It's very complicated, because race is not biological. It's just not biological. It's much like, for example, that's just how it is. We wouldn't be able to tell, but we can assume, and of course it makes some sense historically speaking. You can understand why it's there, but it does have all the problems that I just mentioned. I'm gonna write it down. The pudgy mess of curdled meat looks neither mondial nor anything other. Yeah, mondial. Lowercase. Interesting. Sex. And that's another thing as well. Bit much like race, although it's still also another historical. Excuse me, hiccup. Another historically fucky, says Kunese. Did I say? Am I saying out loud? Yes, I am. It's another historical precedent there. But we're out of time for the day, and the fucky will have to wait until next episode. For right now, I'm Colonel RPG, and this has been Disco Elysium. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and leave a comment, like the video if you want to see the next episode come out sooner rather than later, but above all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next episode. Bye-bye.